What's up, everybody? Matt Kajeski here, back again with the Stokastic channel. And today we are talking about preseason DFS. It is preseason week 1. We have 2 games on deck. We're going to get into the top plays at each position. But before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. And we are brought to you today by Prize Picks. If you've never heard of Prize Picks, their daily prop-based contest. And if you use the promo code AWESEMO, you can get up to a $100 first match deposit bonus. There's no sharks, no optimizers, no mass entries. You just make lineups with players, up to 5 players. Those type of lineups can net you up to 10 extra entry fee. And you can use your knowledge across sports. You can pair the MLB with the NFL, and that is completely fine on Prize Picks. So make sure to check them out. All right. Preseason DFS, it is here. It is a very unique animal, and we will get into the play-by-play specifics. But the first thing with preseason DFS, it's unlike regular season because it's highly dependent on playing time, which we find through practice reports, who's injured, who's not, what these beat reporters are saying, which I have gone ahead and dug into for you. We have all that available on the site, including detailed write-ups for these positions, these players, and these slates. So today's slate, we have 2 games, and looking at the quarterback position, I think there's 2 situations we can potentially take advantage for DFS. The first one is with Tennessee, and the Titans are a team that are carrying 3 quarterbacks currently. One of them is Ryan Tannehill. He shouldn't play a ton this preseason. And then they have Logan Woodside, who's kind of been this bona fide backup for a while behind him. But they do have Malik Willis, who was the 87th overall pick in the 3rd round out of Liberty. And he's really interesting here because we're not expecting Tannehill in particular to play much, and they know what they have in Woodside. So that should leave a lot of opportunity for Willis, who has an amazing dual threat skill set. This is a guy that rushed for 944 and 878 rushing yards in back-to-back seasons with Liberty. If Tannehill's ruled out too, we could see up to a half from Willis. So he's a phenomenal play at quarterback. The second guy I want to highlight is New England signal caller Bailey Zappi. Again, this is a spot where we might have just 2 signal callers active. The Patriots have not talked about who they're playing in tonight's game, but beat reporters seem to think Mac Jones is going to get a series, if not sit out entirely. That leaves Brian Hoyer and Bailey Zappi. Bailey Zappi is a rookie out of Western Kentucky, but Hoyer previously has dealt with an injury during camp. He's a bona fide long-term backup that New England knows what they have. Zappi, he's the draft pick that they had this year. Again, 4th-round pick, 137th overall. He's trying out for this backup job, and if he can play well in the preseason, he might just get it. He's not mobile, but he is a good passer, and we should see a lot of opportunities for him. At the running back position, there's a couple spots I want to look at here, and the first spot really is with the New York Giants. This is a spot where, again, starters are going to play a little bit for this team, but it shouldn't be more than a couple series, quarter max. And Saquon Barkley coming off severe injury, I don't think we see a ton of him. Matt Breida is injured, so he won't be out there either. New York has just 4 running backs behind them. It's Antonio Williams, Gary Brightwell, Jayshon Corbin, and Sandra Platzgummer. Jayshon Corbin is a guy that could get extended run today as a UDFA coming out of Florida State. He caught 25 passes. He rushed for nearly 900 yards, and he has decent size. He's been playing with a 3rd string, and we know week 1 preseason, that's actually a good sign. That means you're probably going to get extended run late into games. So he's somebody to certainly look at. And then another running back to maybe mention here, looking at Julius Chestnut for Tennessee. Again, Derrick Henry, Dontrell Hilliard, these guys aren't going to play. Hilliard's been injured. He's wearing a non-contact jersey. That means they just have Hassan Haskins, Trenton Cannon, Jordan Wilkins, and Chestnut. Trenton Cannon's a special teamer. Hassan Haskins was actually drafted from this team. I think Wilkins and Chestnut could get decent run in tonight's game, just lack of options in the backfield, so they could also make some sense. Wide receiver, there is one team to particularly hone on tonight, and that is going to be Baltimore, and this comes down to playing time. Baltimore has 6 players right now that are currently injured or have been injured recently who might miss tonight's game. This is going to require monitoring the late news, but all of Rashad Bateman, James Prochet, Devin Duvernay, Slade Bolden, Devin Williams, and Bailey Gaither are currently or have been injured recently. That means Tylan Wallace, Jalen Moore, Shamar Bridges, and Benjamin Victor all are going to get run. And a player that's been really hyped up this camp has been Shamar Bridges. There's rumors he might even make the roster over Jalen Moore. So he's a player that I would really look to at wide receiver. New York is also fairly banged up, where you have Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, David Sills, Robert Foster, and Austin Prell all dealing with injuries currently. That means a guy like Darius Slayton, and yes, Darius Slayton, he's been working with the third team. He's going to get some extended run tonight. And lastly, tight end, two teams are thin. Baltimore's also thin here with Mark Andrews, Nick Boyle, and Charlie Kohler all dealing with injuries. Isaiah Likely, draft pick out of Coastal Carolina, who is a premier receiving threat, which is important at tight end. We do not want blockers. He should be out there with just 3 tight ends active at the position. Could see active run and be somebody that we hone in on. One other thing with the tight end position, New England is dealing with injuries to Devin Asiasi, Dalton Keene, with just Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. Matt Sokol could get extended run, but still a slight preference to the receiving threat with Isaiah Likely. And then defense. Defense is really volatile. My honest recommendation is just to mix and match your defenses, especially with preseason being so turnover prone. If a defense scores a touchdown, that could really put you over. If you're making me pick, Baltimore would be my number one, but I'm going to play every single defense on this slate. That'll do it for us today. Let me know who you like in preseason DFS week 1 on our 2-game slate. My name is Matt Kajeski on Twitter at Matt_Kajeski. Thank you, and we will see you guys again next time.